Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue to read from Caitanya Caritamrita Adi-Lila. We are on chapter 7, text 77. We have been hearing the glories of chanting the holy name of the Lord. E ajna pana namalai anushkana namalai te laite mora branta hailamana. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Since I received this order from my spiritual master, I always chant the holy name. But I thought that by chanting the holy name, I had been bewildered. So Lord Chaitanya is continuing to speak to Prakashananda Saraswati, and he's telling him that my Guru Maharaj told me, I'm a fool and I just have to chant the holy name. I have no qualification to study the Vedanta Sutra. So I've been chanting and I was chanting and I thought I had become bewildered. So then, continuing, Dhairya dharite nari hailama unmata hasi kandi nachi gaye yache madamata. While chanting the holy name of the Lord in pure ecstasy, I lose myself, and thus I laugh, cry, dance, and sing just like a madman. So Lord Chaitanya is saying, I think I've gone mad. I thought, I had gotten mad because when I was chanting in ecstasy, pure ecstasy, because Lord Chaitanya is chanting the pure holy name in love. So then he's having these ecstatic symptoms, laughing, crying, dancing, singing, just like a madman. Tabe dharya dhari mane karilu vichar Krishna name jnana chana haila amar. Collecting my patience, therefore, I began to consider that chanting the holy name of Krishna had covered all my spiritual knowledge. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hints in this verse that to chant the holy name of Krishna, one does not need to speculate on the philosophical aspects of the science of God, for one automatically becomes ecstatic and without consideration immediately chants, dances, laughs, cries, and sings just like a madman. Lord Chaitanya is saying we don't need to imagine, we don't need to make up, manufacture any philosophy, any theory. We don't need to. God is God. It's not that we can manufacture a God. Then that is just our mental speculation, is just our imagination. He's saying just by chanting and dancing, we can achieve pure, all perfection. All perfection. Pagala hailan ame dharya nahi mane eta chinti nivedilun gurura charane. I saw that I had become mad by chanting the holy name, and I immediately submitted this at the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as an ideal teacher, shows us how a disciple should deal with his spiritual master. Whenever there is doubt regarding any point, he should refer the matter to his spiritual master for clarification. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that while chanting and dancing, he had developed the kind of mad ecstasy that is possible only for a liberated soul. So this chanting and dancing doesn't mean that he's become mad. No, of course, Lord Chaitanya, he is Krishna himself, but he's taking the position of a living entity. He's taking our position. And then he's showing us that how by chanting, we can come to the liberated platform, get liberated from the material world, be situated in our original position. Yet, even in his liberated position, he referred everything to his spiritual master whenever there were doubts. So he's being an example that, okay, one may get liberated, still one will be submissive to the spiritual master. The etiquette, This is the etiquette. Not that, okay, I've become liberated now, bye-bye to my spiritual master. No, no, the living entity, the disciple is ever grateful to the spiritual master, and he always feels, how can I repay the debt to my spiritual master? I can never repay the debt to my spiritual master, for he has given me. And so he feels, I surrender myself like a menial servant. He referred everything to his spiritual master whenever there were doubts. Thus, in any condition, even when liberated, we should never think ourselves independent of the spiritual master, but must refer to him as soon as there is some doubt regarding our progressive spiritual life. We must always think ourselves dependent on the Supreme or on the spiritual master. We are never independent. We should never think ourselves independent, even at the point of liberation. The spiritual master, he is a confidential servant of God. He is the authorized representative of God. So the spiritual master, he represents the entire Guru Parampara. When we think of our spiritual master, the entire Guru Parampara is there with him. And so Krishna is also with him. Yes. So this is the etiquette that Lord Chaitanya is teaching us. Kiba mantra dila, gosai ki batara bala, japite mantra karila bhagala. My dear Lord, what kind of mantra have you given me? I have become mad simply by chanting this Maha Mantra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in his Shikshastakam, Yogyaitam nimashena chakshusha pravashyaitam chunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. So the Shikshashtakam, these are the 8 verses, only 8 verses which are left behind by Lord Chaitanya. And in one of the verses he says, Yogyaitam namashena, chakshusha pravashyaitam, shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahename. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. So as we progressively, as the devotee progressively chants, he continues to hear and chant. He continues to chant the holy name. There are these different, Lord Chaitanya is showing us how he comes to the point of liberation. Then he continues to chant, and then he's really feeling the separation from the Lord. This is not ordinary material separation. It is on the spiritual platform. It is the aspiration of a devotee that while he chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, his eyes will fill with tears, his voice falter, and his heart throb. These are good signs in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So it's a good sign if our eyes fill with tears, voice falter, or heart throb, but we should not imitate them. If we are not feeling this, it doesn't matter. We continue to chant. We continue to chant the holy name. And especially if we feel any of these symptoms while others are around, it's better we leave the room, go out for a walk, not to attract unnecessary attention to us. In ecstasy, one should feel the entire world to be vacant without the presence of Govinda. This is a sign of separation from Govinda. So Lord Chaitanya, he teaches us by personal example that we should feel the separation from God, feel the separation from Krishna. Because the more we chant the holy name, it helps us revive our dormant love for Krishna. Each and every soul has love for God. It's now we have forgotten it. Because we have forgotten it, we are thinking ourselves independent of God. But once our love is revived, we cannot stay for a moment without God. We cannot stay a moment without Krishna. And so that's the reason he's saying that, can you just give me a moment, please? Okay, so this is a sign of separation from Govinda. In material life, we are all separated from Govinda and are absorbed in material sense gratification. Therefore, when one comes to his senses on the spiritual platform, he becomes so eager to meet Govinda that without Govinda, the entire world becomes a vacant place. The chanting of the holy name will bring us to this position, revive our love for Krishna, revive our love for Govinda, and we will feel the separation from Govinda. That right now we are so attached to everything material, we don't even barely think of Krishna. Even if one thought we have of Krishna, we'd say, oh wow, I'm such a great devotee. I thought of Krishna for half a moment in my 24 hours. But once the love is revived, which is there in everyone's heart, not even a moment one can forget Govinda. And this love and separation, it is very sweet, and that leads to union. Separation, love and separation, serving the Lord in separation is called Vipralamba Seva. And this Vipralamba Seva leads to Sambhoga, leads to union. So this is what Lord Chaitanya is saying. He's telling us we need to come to this point. Now one will say, am I stupid? Am I going to start chanting just so that I can cry and I can be called a mad person? People will say I'm mad and cry and suffer and separation. What's happening? But we have to understand that this is on the spiritual platform. It's not on the material platform. On the material platform, separation and crying out of unhappiness. But on the spiritual platform, it is the greatest source of happiness, the greatest joy. You know, sometimes when we are very happy, tears will roll down our eyes also. I don't know if you all have felt that. So this is that kind of tears falling down. It's not the devotee is suffering. No, the devotee is feeling the highest joy in his heart. His heart is full of ecstasy, full of love. And that is what is overflowing. Any comments or questions? If no, then we'll stop here for today for Caitanya Caritamrita. Caitanya Caritamrita ki Jai, Shila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Bhakta.
Shilpa ji, I have a question. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that means that the Vipralamba or the separation that we have, that gives joy to our heart?
Yes. When one is really situated in that position of Vipralamba, that gives highest ecstasy. It gives highest ecstasy. This is why Lord Chaitanya is saying that his heart is ecstatic and he's laughing and chanting and crying and dancing all at the same time.
So is it also the same thing that when we chant and when we dance and we do Sankirtan, we feel some joy? So is it that the same thing?
So it could be like a shadow.
Okay.
You know, because of course, if we are really chanting on the pure platform, but maybe our chanting is not yet pure, right? Yeah. So we are getting some glimpses, some shadow. Yeah. Like at the level of Namabhas also. You know, it's the shadow of the pure name, not yet the pure name, but just endeavoring to chant the pure name becomes Namabhas, shadow of the pure name. That also gives joy to the heart. Yes. It's like a preview of what's to come. You know. Okay. So if you're feeling joy only for a few minutes, imagine if you could be feeling this joy 24 hours. Yeah. Like that.
So there is joy in serving, right? That is the
Yes.
joy in remembering, serving, right?
Yes. Yes.
Everything,
Yes.
there is joy. The moment we connect with Krishna, there is joy, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Krishna
So that's
says
when
devotional service is joyfully performed.
So even when we are remembering means when we are missing him, that is also joy,
That's right.
right? Everything
Yes.
connected to him
Yes.
is joy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
source of greatest happiness, greatest pleasure. You know, we are not crying for Krishna. So we should, somebody was saying, I'm not able to cry for Krishna. Then he was advised, then you cry that you're not able to cry for Krishna.
Yeah.
You know, we are able to cry for so many things and so many other people. But if we can really cry for Krishna in separation, that attracts Krishna. It's like, you know, the child. The child is crying. The mother knows the cry of the child. Is the child just playing around? Or is the child really, really gonna, you know, now nothing is gonna stop. I have to go personally. There is one cry, the mother knows. Oh, now even if I give him some toy or something, this child is not gonna be pacified, needs me. That is how we need to chant the holy name. Cry to Krishna. You know, that's what attracts him.
Okay.
To be again reunited with him. Yes.
Okay.
And it's all
Thank you.
a source of greatest happiness. Huh? No suffering, no sadness, no nothing. The heart feels very, very joyful, very happy.
That's here you compare that is on the spiritual, because on the material level, when we are separated, we are sad. We are not joyful.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yes. So material is just a perverted reflection of the spiritual world.
Spiritual. Okay.
Spiritual world is completely joyful. There's no suffering on the spiritual platform.
Okay.
So we should chant, try to take shelter of the holy name. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for a nice question. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.